Winston was having a frustrating day. Try as he might, not a thing went his way. The wimbledy fruit that he plucked from its tree was bitter as bitter as bitter can be, and the mid-morning stars passing over the skies had bright neon hues that burned poor Winston's eyes. The earth likewise freed its discordance within, at the Grimplehorn Geyser's cacophonous din. To make matters worse, and compounding his gloom, at the stream Winston smelled stinkleferns were in bloom. He turned homeward, quite vexed, wrapped up tight in his shawl, blown all about by the cold evening squall, and settling into his house for the night, Winston pledged that tomorrow he'd make things go right. He woke bright and early, and full of resolve, for Winston had numerous problems to solve. The wimbledy tree, planted firm in the ground, would now produce fruit that was ripe all year round. Each color would soften, one hue everywhere, to dull those bright stars in their harsh, blinding glare. A tune would spring forth from each geyser on cue, as Winston conducted the melody through. The stinklefern's odor now smelled fresh and clean, scents Winston found aromatic, serene. Last but not least, the strong winds of harsh weather became a soft breeze, which would fade altogether. Winston retired, smiling wide, walking tall, for he'd wake to a world with no problems at all. So pleasant days passed, with no burdens to bear, as Winston relaxed, feeling free from all care, enjoying sweet fruit and a rose-tinted view, the fragrance, the music, and warm weather too. Winston indulged in the smells, sounds, and tastes, the sights, and the comfort, no stress and no haste. Reposing, he thought, now here is true bliss. Why hasn't the world always been just like this? It's true, this new life was delightful, carefree, and yet it all came with a sense of ennui. With fruits ever ripe, they all crunched as they should, yet in singular taste they were sweet, but not good. And likewise, the hue painting both sky and land lacked vibrance and depth, looking dreadfully bland. The melody, pleasant beyond any doubt, sank into a drone as the tune was worn out. The clean, soapy fragrance was present no more. One smell, smelled too much, leads a nose to ignore. And lastly, the weather, so temperate and warm, soon left Winston wanting a gale or a storm. He wandered and pondered, surprised now to find, in adversity's absence, perfection declined. For an ideal world can't truly bring joy when its good turns don't shine against things that annoy. So Winston returned to the way things once were, in spite of the hardships he'd have to endure. And from that moment on, he let nature persist, in triumph and struggle, as both should exist. Forbearing each burden, enriched each delight, he let them abide now, free of hate, free of spite. I guess that the reason we tolerate strife is to magnify all of the best things in life.